Yo, yo, BC in this mug. Port court, Bitcoin business. Rise and grind, time to stack sats. Wake up, hit the block, explorer. See my future looking bolder than a hardware wallet. Cold storage, got that laser focus. No mirage, just hodl age. Fiat full, stay mad, stay salty while my crypto bag's getting hefty. Good morning, crypto. It's a brand new day. Stacking Bitcoin, come what may. Good morning, crypto. Making moves from the basement straight to the news. They sleeping on the tech blind, thinking central banks are so kind. I'm out here building brick by brick, decentralized future, that's the trick. No permission needed, straight fire. Got that digital scarcity desire. Sets, I want more to the moon, that's what we're here for. Good morning, crypto, it's a brand new day. Stacking Bitcoin, come what may. Good morning, crypto, making moves from the basement straight to the news. Sats, I want more to the moon, that's what we're here for. Good morning, crypto, it's a brand new day. Stacking Bitcoin, come what may. Good morning, crypto, making moves from the basement straight to the news.
Step 1, wake up early, gon' rise the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Good morning, and welcome to Good Morning Crypto, where we turn your early hours in the morning into your edge and financial freedom. Today, I've only got one headline. We're going to talk about Michael Saylor and his lack of buying Bitcoin this week. Normally it's, Michael Saylor buys again, he's buying the top, he's buying all-time highs. Well, this week, he didn't, and we will get into that one. Volume might be a little bit low. Let's see. I know some settings got messed around. Let's see on that. Let me get that fixed in the background before we dive into the rest of everything today. Sound. Yeah. It got knocked down from its normal position. Normally it's sitting at like 86 on that because I run my microphone through another service to kind of nix out all the background noise. So that should be better for you. That is back to its normal volume there. Yeah. All right. So as I was saying, we've got some spicy news coming out from Saylor. His lack of buying Bitcoin. We will get into why he didn't buy, and I will dive a little further into that on my thoughts of what that actually means going further into his Saylor strategy of buying Bitcoin, leveraging it to buy more Bitcoin. And when you can't buy Bitcoin and pay people out at the same time, it does lead me to have some worries. But before we get into all of that, You know what I got pulled up in the background. It is that stock heat map. So let's dive on in, get you prepped for some success today, because we're seeing just a little bit of movements in the pre-market this morning. We've got Apple sitting to the downside this morning, continuing on from its sell-off yesterday. It's sitting down 0.42% today. Nvidia on the other hand, seeing a little bit of reversal this morning, was sitting down 1.11 from yesterday, sitting up 0.36 this morning. We've got Berkshire Hathaway looking a little bit neutral and to the downside, down 0.03. We've got Amazon up 0.14. We've got Eli Lilly up 0.1. We've got ExxonMobil up 0.5. We've got Tesla sitting down 0.66 after an extremely green day yesterday, sitting up 5.45%. We've got PNG sitting up 0.09 after a little bit of a red day yesterday. We've got Microsoft down 0.1. We've got Google sitting down 0.4. And we've got Meta sitting up 0.17. Continuing on the green day streak that it has been on. Hopping over to the crypto side of things, we're looking a little bit mixed over here. We've got some nice green bubbles and we've got some nice red bubbles here. I did take a look at hype. We might take a look at that one a little bit later as well. Let me get that one on the list because it was looking all right yesterday, and then it completely reversed extremely hard. So I'm definitely seeing a few things on that hype chart. But let's dive on into what we're seeing today. We've got Bitcoin up 0.1% and continuing to see that green on the hourly. Ethereum up 2.6. We've got BNB taking a spot from XRP in the market cap, folks. A massive move towards the upside, up 6.1%, while XRP sheds a little bit, down 0.6%. We've got Solana down 0.9%. We've got Doge up 0.8. We've got Tron holding steady, 0% change. We've got Cardano up 0.6. We've got Chainlink up 0.3. And then we've got Sui down 0.8. Stellar Lumens taking a spot in the market cap from Avalanche. Avalanche taking a spot in the market cap from Hyperliquid. All of those sitting in the red. Hyperliquid down 1.8. We've got Stellar Lumens down 0.9. And we've got Sui down 0.8. We've got Bitcoin Cash down 0.6, HBAR up 1.7, Litecoin down 1.9, and we've got Leo token holding steady with 0% change on that daily and the hourly. Hopping over to that fear and greed index, we are seeing a little more greed on the stock side as we have had a few green days back to back. Not too unexpected to get that slight move towards some greed, and that's exactly what we've been seeing. On the crypto side of things, though, we did get a little bit of a cool off after an all-time high and a little bit of some cool down. We did talk about one of those key levels yesterday. We got that pullback almost exactly to where we were looking for yesterday. And then we started to see a little upside. We will kind of have to see if we can get some continuation or if we continue on down a little bit further, grab some of that higher term time frame liquidity. Taking a look at this liquidation heat map, we have plenty of liquidity directly towards the upside. Not too unexpected, people like to short those all-time highs. Normally not a bad move. We've got a lot of liquidity at 126,500. Zooming this on out a little bit further here, if it would let me. There we go. We've got that 3-day with a little bit of liquidity directly towards the upside as well, sitting at that 126,500. Really got to zoom that on out a little bit further to get that look. Oh, it looks like we've grabbed some of that downside now. We did have a little bit that was sitting directly towards the downside. You saw us grabbing on that daily as well. Looks like the next real area that we're seeing some liquidity is way down here at that $120,000 mark. Zooming it on out just a little bit further there so we can really get that nice view. you can see we've cleared out quite a bit of liquidity towards the upside, and on the extremely high time frame there's liquidity way down here at 110. We will kind of have to see what levels we can hold as we cool off. It is October, so to leave a bunch of liquidity way down there is not too unexpected. But let's get over to that Bitcoin chart, see what we're looking at here. And because we have no data really coming out today with the federal government still closed, you don't get as much data as you normally get. So we will take a look at that Bitcoin chart, and we will say good morning to everyone in the chats today, because we've got the chat flying this morning. We've got some people lurking in the background as well, so good morning to all you lurkers. But we've got RMT first in the chat, dropping some coffee cups. We've got Dutchy in here. He said he will join later. He's on his way home. Well, hope you make it in time for the spicy Sailor talk. Kelefant asking what's going on with Sailor, and she said she just better watch, and she'll find out. So definitely got that Sailor talk coming after this Bitcoin chart. We've got K Diggity in here saying he's here for the spicy takes on Sailor. We will keep those coming. As much of a fan as I am of Bitcoin, I'm not necessarily a fan of what Sailor's doing with Bitcoin. Although I have been happy that it has pushed out the name Bitcoin a little bit further, I do think it's a little bit risky what he's doing. We got Curtis Hill in the house. We've got Jesse Gluck in here. We've got RMT saying good morning to some of the people. We've got Steve Hickey in the house. Good morning to you. We've got Jay in here as well. We've got Crypto Padel. If y'all haven't been watching Hot of the Line every single Monday night, we got some spicy takes from Bedell there all the time. He's also on Crypto on the Rocks every Friday over on CCM's channel. So definitely a place to be every Friday evening. Let's see who else we got in here. Scrolling on down. We got Dylan VA in the house. Good morning to you. Sailor wised up, and it's a buying BSV. Oh my goodness. Now that's a spicy take, and I thought I had some stuff to say. We got Conspiracy Crypto in the house. Let's see who else we got in here. We got Jay Violet sliding in here. Good morning to you. Well, good evening to you, madam. Hope you're having a great day. And let's get into this Bitcoin chart, because we did talk about a few levels yesterday. We really wanted to see us get above what has been resistance this entire next move towards our all-time highs. As we've made all of these new all-time highs, we have seen our resistance come off of a trend line that is pulled from the all-time high in the 2016 cycle, touches on the high of the 2020 cycle, and has been resistance here as well. So that is that big battle zone we really need to get above. We are seeing a little bit of toppiness here on the daily now. Doesn't mean you can't continue towards the upside, as long as we can get a little bit of sideways momentum coming on in here with some nice strong money flow. You could really hold price up at our platinum pocket. That is an area I really want to see hold, because that would give us that strength to really continue on towards the upside here. Platinum pockets coming in at 121,600, so that's that area to really watch for the downside. See if we can hold it as some support on our higher term time frames and continue on towards the upside here, because it does look like we rejected off of that resistance line all over again. It is a long-standing resistance line, and it's not too unexpected to really see us reject off of it. We've got that 1 thrust, 2 thrust, 3 thrust up to our resistance line, and we might need just a little bit of cool off after this massive move towards the upside of to current price 15%. So to see just the slightest bit of cool off here, come back down to our platinum pocket, really solidify that as a support zone, would be a nice move to see. To get some continuation would get you a little bit of cool off here on your daily time frame, As you're seeing reversal signals flash, you're seeing some curvature back down, and your money flows are just starting to get into the green here. So definitely looking a little bullish, but could use sorry about that, could use a little bit of pullback. Taking a look here at your hourly time frame, you did get a little bit of pullback right close to a level we were wanting to see hold. We pushed it back above it. That was at 124,350. We are seeing that money flow struggle just a little bit here on the hourly, and we're really waiting to see what happens around this area all over again. We did get some bouncing action a little bit lower. That was the lows of this little consolidation range before we got that push back up towards our resistance line. That was coming in at 123,500. So a nice little zone for us right now this morning to see if we can consolidate price in. We are seeing a lot of pressures on the higher term time frame, and to see us move a little bit sideways around this area would not be too unexpected. We do have a big zone to kind of move sideways in, and we are still making those higher highs and higher lows. So the trend is still intact towards the upside. We would really need to start breaking below some of these lows here at 123,400 to really get that stronger move towards the downside. So let me get that strong time support line drawn on up here. That's your area to kind of watch for. If we do break below it, that could give us a little bit of a reversal of trend here on the shorter term time frame, allow for a little bit of cool off on that higher term time frame. How does XLM look? Does it look... Oh, so last week was when I had entered my XLM. I didn't get a chance to go live with all the shenanigans that YouTube and Streamlabs was pulling. So I was in that. XLM got that strong move towards the upside. And with my job site, I'm out in the middle of nowhere, so I don't have really good internet. So I did not get to drop that in the Discord either. But I kept telling everyone what that bouncing level was for XLM, and XLM did look like it got that nice move towards the upside, is seeing a little bit of resistance, but as long as we can hold an old fair value gap that I was talking about, it does look like it does have some legs to continue towards the upside. So we will get that one on the list as well. XLM. All right, got that one on the list. Hourly is looking like you could see another little pop towards the upside here, but we're battling with a lot of resistance on that higher term time frame on the daily. That big 15% move towards the upside. We are seeing a little bit of a lower high here on your MACD and your prime oscillator as well. So we do have some hidden divergences that aren't really showing up just yet. Your prime oscillator also sitting in the red here, so looking like this could be a little bit of a reversal of trend here if you don't make a higher high. So you would need to make a new all-time high, really continue that trend up. So I am looking for just a little bit of cool off here, at least maintain this platinum pocket area on that higher term time frame, and that would allow us to get that bouncing action all the way up. So watch around that 123,300. If we start breaking below that, would look for a little cool off in this area above the platinum pocket there. Taking a look at that 15-minute in the morning, you're seeing a little bit of toppiness here on the charts as you're seeing that red money flow here on the shorter term time frame. You're getting that roll back over as well. Your prime oscillator is getting extremely overheated and failing to get up to the highs before we made this low. So really looking like on the shorter time frame, you've got a little bit of a reversal of trend here, and we would really need to break below 123,360 to continue that trend towards the downside. Give your higher time frame a little bit more cool off there, and that will give you some more legs to really start bouncing towards the upside. It will give you the cool off on that fear and greed as well. So that's kind of what I'm looking like what I'm looking for here on Bitcoin. We didn't end up taking that trade yesterday. Y'all voted for a little bit of a longer, a shorter entry towards the downside. Looks like the move would have been that retest area that we were talking about off of our local resistance. As you can see, we got that nice strong retest and move to all-time high. So I guess that was the trade yesterday. We still have that potential to come back down towards our lows, though, as it does look like we're in a little bit of a downtrend here. So still have that chance to take another little stab before we try to make that move towards all-time highs. What would you use if you didn't have the prime oscillator? I would use the RSI here. Smooth RSI, though. So smoothed RSI. So I will just get this moved so you can kind of get that view. Oh, that's such a terrible, ugly line. How is anyone supposed to see blue on top of black? Let's get that as a white. Let's make it also a little bit thicker there as well. So you can see these a little bit better. You can kind of see that movement is extremely similar to your prime oscillator. This is that kind of smooth RSI line. The prime oscillator also has your money flow here. So I would like to have a little bit of a money flow indicator, which is going to be something like your volume as well. That's shown down here on your prime oscillator. So that's another thing to kind of keep in mind. I use all of those in tandem there. It makes it a little bit easier to kind of keep your eye on things. But as you can see, you've got very, very similar movements on the smooth RSI as you do on the prime oscillator here. You can see those nice little peaks, triple peaking up here, and same on that smooth RSI. You've got that coming in with a peak and a peak here. Same with that prime oscillator and a nice little peak, and you're getting that same kind of curvature here on the prime oscillator as you are on that smooth RSI. This is a little bit more smoothed out than your prime oscillator is. You can go in there and change your settings around as well to kind of factor in what kind of time frame you want to look at it. So I'm assuming if you get that a little less smoothed out there, coming in at I guess probably around the 8, you get that a little bit better with your prime oscillator there. So that's kind of how you can factor things in. If you don't have like the prime oscillator, you'd also want like a money flow indicator and a volume indicator. So volume, something like that. Volume oscillator also gives you that kind of same thing there. Volumes up, volumes down. So keep those all in mind together if you don't have that prime oscillator there. Smooth RSI is the big reason I used RSI, and that's a big reason that I switched over here towards the prime oscillator. It has been a great tool to use. So hope that answers your question. We did have a big news article to talk about this morning. Let's get over to that. We've got strategy not buying some Bitcoin this week. Let's get that zoomed on in here. Strategy buys no Bitcoin while making $140 million in dividend payments. And I've been talking about this for a while. Everyone's like, oh, well, Michael Saylor's not accruing more debt to buy Bitcoin. No, he is. It's a little bit different because he's doing preferred stocks and bonds, which force you to then pay out the people that have invested. He's got a few different mechanisms, which we will dive into a little bit later in this article. But you're paying back some of these investors quarterly, and that's a big reason that you didn't see Michael Saylor buy Bitcoin this week, as that third quarter is ending. So he chose to pay back investors instead of also buying Bitcoin. So let's dive on into this article just a little bit here. Strategy, the world's largest corporate holder of Bitcoin, stopped accumulating the asset last week as it made $140 million in dividend payments, according to a press release. that was the first time that the Tyson Corner, Virginia-based firm who owns 640,000 Bitcoin, put its Bitcoin buying activity on pause since the end of July. On Monday, Strategy's stockpile was worth nearly $80 billion as Bitcoin's price hovered close to an all-time high. This year, Strategy has established several types of preferred shares as a way to access funding beyond convertible debt and common shares. Of the 5 that Strategy has issued, 3 of them have a featured dividend rate of 10% APY. If Strategy misses dividend payments, the payout on some of those preferred shares will accrue. In an SEC filing, Strategy noted that the payouts on its STRC and STRD stock included accrued interest totaling $22.4 million and $37.6 million for the quarter. Strategy rose 2.8% to 361 on Monday, according to Yahoo Finance. Year to date, they've rallied 25%, while jumping to 450 in July. On Monday, Strategy reported a $3.9 billion gain in its fair value of its Bitcoin holdings in the third quarter. So, keeping an eye on things, we are kind of looking a little bit worrisome as it broke it on down. There are 3 different ways to invest in Strategy that he will have to pay you out quarterly on. And if the whole goal of Strategy is to accumulate Bitcoin and leverage that Bitcoin to buy more Bitcoin with, but every single time you have to pay investors, you can't buy Bitcoin, it really shows your lack of capital, which is what leads me to believe that in the bear market, you're going to struggle just a little bit because you're still going to have to pay those people out. And the big thing people aren't talking about is when we get to the bottom, you're talking close to 2027. That's when that first round of bonds that was talked about in this article mature. And so you will have to do a lump sum payout to all of these bondholders. And if you're already struggling to be able to pay back your dividends and buy Bitcoin at the same time, it's not looking too nice for being able to buy the Bitcoin bottom. So definitely a little bit worrisome in my eyes for how Saylor has been raising that average entry price. And you could have just been doing a little bit better by doing a little bit of a dynamic DCA, which we talk about here on Piper Academy all the time, or just holding off. You know, you could have been accumulating some of these funds. You could have been buying some of the bottoms and then getting that leg towards the upside, but still having some capital on the side. I know his goal is to really accumulate as much Bitcoin as he can, but if you can't make it through the bear market, pay everyone back, and also be accumulating Bitcoin at the bottom, you're really going to have some problems. So that's kind of my view on Saylor and kind of the cracks that are starting to show, because he used to be able to pay people back and buy Bitcoin at the same time, and he is no longer able to do that. So just keeping my eyes on that one, and we will definitely be talking about Saylor a little bit more as we get into the bear market and we see some of those bigger cracks start showing. But let's dive into some of those alt requests we had. We got about 20 minutes. We've got a few alt requests. We've got a stock request as well. Kelefant was wanting to see Intel. We've got Hype and XLM to take a look at. If we got any other stock or alt requests, go ahead, throw them in the chat, and we'll get to those in just a second. We've got All Set in here. Good morning to you. We've got Duality C as well. Good morning. Hope you're having a great day so far. We've got the Mod Queen, Alexandra G, in the house. If you've got those Mod Queen emojis, go ahead, throw them in the chat. Let's see that chat full of those mod queen emojis. Let's see what else we got in here. A lot of talking on fart coin apparently, so might need to take a look at some fart coin. We've also got a request for some Solana. We can take a look at Solana here as well. Maybe some fart coin, as much as I hate those meme coins. We've got French Toaster in the house. Good morning to you. Hope you're having a great day so far. And we've got Melissa in the chats as well. Good morning. I hope you're having a great day. So we got a few more alt requests to take a look at. Solana and Fartcoin. So let's hop into that stock request first. Really take a look at some intel, see what's going on there. And see if you're at a good point to maybe roll back in a little bit lower, or if you should ride this one on out here. So a little bit earlier and the month later in last month, we had talked about some intel, and it got a nice big partnership with NVIDIA. We wanted to see a little bit of some pullback into our CME gap, really hold that midline to get that continuation towards the upside here. You're now starting to see a little bit of toppiness here on the higher term time frame around that golden pocket area, looking like it's a little bit of a resistance zone from the bottom here where we pulled that fib. We have gotten a very strong move towards the upside here. We'll go off of this low here. This whole move towards current price action is 94% towards the upside. So if you don't think there is going to be a little bit of some sell-off here after a 94% move towards the upside, and if you include the entire move 105% towards that golden pocket, I would think again. So to see a little bit of some sell-off is not too unexpected. I would at least keep my eye here on the 50 line. That is an area where we haven't really turned anything into some support here. So definitely a little bit of some toppiness here on the daily time frame. We did finally beat out some of the downside pressures I was worried about here on the weekly, but we are starting to see some toppiness here on the weekly as well. You're seeing that curvature here on your prime oscillator. You're seeing the true 7 clipping on out here. Your money flows just starting to kind of pick on up, but you definitely get some pullbacks when your money flows in the green on those higher term time frames. So I don't know if I would sell off all of my bag if I had some intel, the same way that I didn't sell off my bag with AMD. So definitely more of a long-term play for me. I would like to see us at least get a little bit of some cool off on that higher term time frame, hold the 50% to at least the top side of that CME gap around $31.73. So that would be a dip from current price of about 13%. So if you want to ride that down, not necessarily a bad move. If you want to roll that back in lower to accumulate more, also not a bad move. I'm more of a hold it for the longer term time frame. I'll eat a 13% loss to not have to pay over that in some taxes. So kind of how I play that out. This was a nice little accumulation area. I did talk about the potential for breaking lower with how that higher term time frame was looking. They got that partnership with NVIDIA and really got that move back towards some levels that we hadn't seen in a little while. Really struggling though. So what I'm looking like here on the higher term time frame is you're still seeing some lower highs and you've got these lower lows. I would really like to see a higher low coming on in here, at least holding that 50% line, because we did see this 382 coming in as a low here, and then this was your low down here to make our fib. So at least coming in holding that 50% line would be that move to kind of watch for. That would come in with a higher low on our macro and could kind of lead us to that reversal of trend towards the upside here. We do have a little bit of resistance to contend with at your golden pocket and your platinum pocket once you start getting that continuation back towards the upside there. So daily looking a little bit overheated, weekly looking a little bit overheated. You've also got your hourly coming in here with some divergences. As you've made all of these higher highs, you've been making lower highs on your MACD, and you've got those lower highs on your prime oscillator as well. Really highlighting that on the hourly. On this last higher high, you can see that divergence coming on in. You've got your money flow really holding things up for now, and that's why I said I'd like to see that bouncing on the 50% line. That's coming in at $34.70. Would also close out our local CME gap on top of that 50% line. So Intel due for a little bit of some pullback, but I don't know if it'd be a big enough pullback for me to really be like, okay, well, I'm going to roll back in lower. I've eaten 13% losses on stocks all the time just to continue with that trend. So they've got a very, very big partnership with NVIDIA, and I wouldn't bank on that really breaking back into some nice accumulation levels for a little while. Kind of ride that trend. You're in an uptrend, and you're in an uptrend on a lot of time frames there. So definitely looking, if we break some of these levels though, that it would be a nice accumulation all over again. We don't want to continue with that trend towards the downside on the higher term time frame, so we do want to see a higher low coming on in around that like CME gap area to the 50% line. So those are those two levels I'd kind of keep my eye out on. Intel, let's see, we had a few alt requests to get into here as well, so let's take a look at this first one that I was looking at here. We were looking at some hype. I did think we could get a little bit of bouncing off of the one line on our fib extensions. We did get a little bit of some bouncing off of that, but then we completely rejected off an area we were looking for as some resistance. So zooming on in just a little bit there so you can see it better, we got that strong candle wick rejection off of 49.69. That was an area we were wanting to see hold as some support. We are still in a little bit of a downtrend here, so we do have on the macro very equal lows to kind of contend with, so keep your eye on that. If we don't hold this platinum pocket here at $45, we could really sweep those equal lows, and that could give us the strength to continue a move towards the upside. Your daily is looking a little bit iffy for some continuation towards the upside. This project was ripping when everything else was not, so to see it cool off when everything is kind of getting a little bit of some moves towards the upside to get that stronger move back towards the upside would definitely be kind of what I would watch for here. So nice strong rejection off of an area we were keeping our eye on, and that's what gave you your MACD curvature back towards the downside. It is breaking below that indicator line. You've also got that prime oscillator curving back down as well. So this ended up being a short-term scalp for me. Once we really rejected off of 49.69, I was out, and I only made about like 15%, but it is what it is. It's better than nothing. We've got that hourly also looking like it could continue on towards the downside here if you start breaking some of these levels here. So we are looking to hold $45.08 in the shorter term time frame, as that hourly is getting a little bit of some curvature back towards the upside. Your prime oscillator has that true 7 clipping out, the reversal signal, the oversold signals, and your prime oscillator heading back towards the upside a little bit, but it's coming in with a little bit of sideways momentum, so kind of keep your eye on that. We are in a downtrend on your macro time frame. We're in a little bit of a downtrend here on the hourly as well, as you've got that high up here being the highest high, and you've been making lower highs since, and you've been making lower lows since before you made this highest high. So definitely a little bit of a downtrend to contend with, but once you break out, you could really break towards the upside with some strength, and that's why we've got that next real level to kind of keep our eye on. $52.70, and above that we've got a big fair value gap to really contend with from that higher term time frame. Would want to get that on the daily time frame so you can see where it's pulled from. That's coming from way back here. It is closed, but as we've seen over and over again here, we retest on fair value gaps all the time. So those are those two upside levels. Once we can kind of break out of this downtrend here, that would give us that strong move towards the upside. And if we don't hold that platinum pocket, would really look to sweep those equal lows. So that's what I was looking for on some hype. We did have XLM that we've been watching here on Good Morning Crypto for a while. We can take a look at that chart real quick and I will show you what I was looking for. We did get that move back up towards an area of resistance that we'd been looking for. Where I entered was over here last week when we got that nice move to 35 cents, and we've moved very quickly towards the upside out of it, broke out of some resistance, really waiting to see if we hold this fair value gap here. If we don't, could definitely get some strong pullback all the way to about 37.946 on some XLM. That'd be a nice little area to kind of watch to see if we hold. If we don't hold all of that, really retesting on our breakout area on that higher term time frame would be something to watch for. But we are getting a little bit of some hopium here as that prime oscillator is getting some curvature back towards the upside. You've got a little bit of sideways momentum on that MACD, but if you can get some price holding up here on the bottom side of this old fair value gap at 39.342, you could really get some continuation towards the upside there. Oh, you stayed in your trade. Man, I need to get better at that. Close my XLM trade. Well, I enter on much higher time frames, so as long as you made some money, it doesn't really matter. My trades are swing trades. So I entered way down here and I was looking for a way up here. I would like to get back to some of those levels we haven't been at in a while. First real area of interest is about 45 cents for me. So if we can get above 41 cents, turn that into some support, very quick move back on up. You're also talking about me trading with like 3x leverage, so that's just kind of compound on some of my gains, and I'm looking to hold that for potentially till the bull run ends. So that's my thought processes on trades. I trade extremely different than OC does. OC takes several trades a day. He's in several trades a day. I wait for the big move. So we did get our nice constriction here on the daily. I did get some confirmation here on the weekly time frame that really gave me my idea to enter. We were starting to see that sideways momentum coming on in with that prime oscillator. Get that zoomed on in a little bit better so you can see those there. We did get that sideways momentum coming on in on that prime oscillator when we got that bottoming there at 35 cents. So that's kind of what gave me some of the ideas to really get that entry in. We also had that sideways momentum coming in on the MACD as well. But if we break outside of the bottom side of that fair value gap, then I would look to exit. It would still be a nice strong move breaking out of that of, let's see, without leverage about 13%. So with some 3x leverage, you're talking at like almost 40% gains. So that's kind of what my looks on that. This was a swing trade. I've held it going into my second week now. So nice little move for XLM. We are at some resistance. would look to hold our fair value gap there. If we can hold that fair value gap and get above 41 cents, you've got plenty of room to run towards the upside. But you've got that higher low coming on in. You are looking to make those very equal highs. So equal highs often get swept. So that'd be my area to kind of look for. If you break out of that fair value gap, might get another little stab down here at about that 37 cent range, almost 38 cents. So did I miss the Sailor satire? Yep, that was way at the beginning. That was our one news article for the day, and I kind of poo-pooed on the fact that Sailor can't pay out investors and buy Bitcoin at the same time. And it doesn't look good if he can't do that in the bear markets and buy some of the bottoms when he actually has some investors that'll have to pay out en masse. So that's what's coming in the bear market. The bear market, he's going to have a lot of people that he's going to have to pay out because your first round of bonds mature in 2027. And then you've got some stocks that you still got to pay out. You've got those quarterly dividends. So you're going to be missing out on a lot of buying opportunities at Bitcoin's bottom when you've been raising your entry the entire bull run. So that's something to keep in mind on Sailor. He isn't very smart when it comes to, lowering your entry. And he's just been raising that entry price. So we did talk about Solana the other day here. Seeing a little bit of toppiness on the higher term time frame. Let's get that pulled up on the weekly. We did talk about wanting to see some sideways action here underneath our resistance at about $237.91. Hold our support at that 236 here, coming in at $230.30. The higher term time frames really are holding that here on this red candle, and we'll kind of have to see if we can get that continued sideways momentum here to cool off some of the higher term time frames and really allow us for that continuation towards the upside there. But I'm sure you want to know on the shorter term time frame what we're looking at. So let's take a look here at this hourly, and this hourly is really trying to hold this 236. If we can get back above $234.10, you could really get those strong moves towards the upside. You are looking like you're trying to reverse trend right now just a little bit. Bitcoin has been selling off just a little bit as well, so something to keep your eye on is some of the downside levels as well. If you don't hold that 236, as you see, lower high, we've been making some lower lows as well. Would like to see us hold some of the lows from back here coming at $226. So that'd be a nice little area to watch for some bouncing at if we don't hold that 236. That's where we get all of our wick and equal candle bodies there. So wick and our very equal candle bodies as well. That'd be that area I'd kind of keep my eye for some bouncing. If we don't hold that 236, would be that nice little area to kind of bottom out on and get some reversal towards the upside. Well, it looks like it is 6:28. About time for me to head on out, unless I got told I don't have to work. Didn't hear anything yet, so it looks like I gotta head on over to my work. Might have to play in some mud today, but might get set home. We will see. Let's get that switched on over to my solo screen. We've got a few other shows here on the Piper Academy. We got 3 shows a day. We started on out with Good Morning Crypto every single morning at 6:45 Eastern time, and we run till 7:30, and then we see y'all over at Alex O Crypto, the man, the Lord Otter, the King Beaver, the man that trades on the 3-minute time frame. Takes a little bit of risk, so we have some fun over in the chats there, and then we head directly over towards our second show of the day here on the Piper Academy, and that's the morning market report with Piper and OC. And then we've got trading with OC at 8 p.m. Eastern time. That is the late night place to be if you like trading and you're up a little bit later than me. That man goes live when I'm going to bed. So I hope to see y'all in the chats here today. If I do get sent home, we will do something in the Discord and I will have an announcement dropped out. So if you aren't a member of that Discord, you definitely should be. It is $5 a month. We get our dynamic DCA plan in there as well. So let me drop that link all over again there. So great place to be in the Discord. I drop a lot of my stock stuff in there as well. So definitely going to be doing a little bit more on that side coming here this weekend. I've got a few updates to do on some stocks. But until next time, make sure to wake up because today's going to be a good day.